All right, welcome everyone. Today is March 29, 2020. Let's go ahead and review our swing charts. Right now, I just have five going into this week. Again, the market with these big gap up and gap downs, some of the work that I put into these, it takes a little bit of time. And we just want to be sure before I, give you a good 10 chart setup going into this week that those aren't all dismissed from some huge gap up or gap down. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. It's going to be ATVI, Activision Blizzard. We're going to first work with a weekly chart. So give me 1 second here. All right. It's going to move from here. So what I'm showing on this, just so you can understand, is that for anyone that likes spreads and so forth, we're looking at iron condors. I might put on an iron condor if it makes sense, if the money is there, if the premium makes sense. Outside of these levels above 63 and then below the 52 area for iron condors. And what I like about this is on the scanner, it's finding me charts that are coming into our edges. And you can see here we have that double whammy right there with the ME and the YE. That's the pink line and the blue line. And what I'd like to see on momentum really is if we start moving above here, just take the trade, stops go underneath, looking at the ATR is about $4.48. Divide that by 5, it's just barely, a buck. All right. So I'm probably looking at my stop being underneath the ME, which is not quite a dollar, but I'll put it at a dollar. Looking to run this back up into the decelerator. You can see that it came into decel and the accelerator once before. And they did what they were supposed to do. They're resistance until they're not. And if we can hold value above the YE, I'm looking for a reclaim of these levels in here and then a push up into the ME, getting us up into 63. If we start to break down below the ME, all right, so on a gap down today, I'd be looking for a potential bounce. Nice demand coming in here. You can see we came into here. We also have earnings on April the 30th. And I want to just look for a couple levels here. If you want, you're going to take this week's candle, the one that just closed out. And we just want to make sure if it holds these levels, say around 55.41, I'm going to go ahead and put an alert there. All right, and if it comes into there on a gap down, I want to see if potentially I could start to buy right there. So we're going to go right here. All right, so again, if the range holds for price to, if we have a gap down, I'd be looking for a possible bounce here. Maybe start the position here and then add above the YE and then move into the targets we've seen here. And I do have a lot of add areas. If we gap up and hold the YE, then I'd be looking at adding once we get into the decel and the accelerator. You can see the bubbles here, 59.21 by 61.24. So basically above 59.21 is where I'd be looking to add. Far as, let's just make this simple. Far as strikes go, I'm looking at 25.30 delta and further out on something like this, 2 to 3 weeks for right now. Matter of fact, give me 1 second. We'll look over here at the options. I think our swim is acting up a little bit here, so I apologize. All right, so I'm probably looking at 17 April. Okay, 17 April, which is the monthly expiration. 17 April, 19 days out, looking for these targets up into the accelerator, decelerator, probably looking at the 60 mark. And those were 35 delta, and those were $1.40 by $1.59. And then we have the 25 deltas. The spread was a little ridiculous on Friday, 55 cent by $1.28. But again, looking for 60 calls. 17 April, again, those were going for $1.40 by $1.59. Again, need that momentum play above 57.50. Okay, and then I'll be looking to trade that to the upside. Let's move over here into eBay. eBay, different look. We know about this one. Basically, don't catch the fallen knife. We look for the reclaim of the YE, the yearly edge, which is that blue line. You can see that once price dropped below, okay, we dropped below this line, and then we had a nice flush low, taking out these traders who thought this was the bottom, took them out, and then once they pushed up, we had the reclaim of the YE. So what are we setting up? We have a drop, an inside candle, This is a demonstration of a candle. What I'm looking for is an up candle. Once we take over the body of this, I'm looking to take the trade to the upside, looking for targets at 32.29, slight pullback, and then a break of here, and then into 33.34 or to the ME, which there's also some supply in this area. And we'll talk about that if I enter that trade and just kind of walk you through that. Notice as well, though, the 9 EMA is creeping down. And so if this gets momentum, this can definitely be a area where we want to trim. And what I mean by looking at that is if the 9 EMA starts to come down as price is moving up, okay, and then it gets here, we're definitely going to trim into this as we could get a pretty extreme pullback. We wouldn't want the pullback to drop any more than probably 25% of this move, and then we'd like to see it go bid and then break right back through and up. So again, probably trimming for sure at T1, especially if the confluence happens with the 9 EMA there on eBay. As far as strikes go, again, looking at 17 April, and then I would be looking for the 33, 34 area. So probably most likely the 32 strike, which was a 32 delta, 51 by 88, and then we had 32 and a half, 43 by 71, anywhere in there, 32, 32 and a half. And if you like higher delta, these are the 30 and a half are $1.13 by $1.15, $1.52 on Friday close. Looking at Netflix, I really like this name as well. As I sit here in quarantine, lots of Netflix, lots of eating, and lots of Zoom, right? So for the kiddos, going back to school, online, and so forth. So what do we have here on Netflix? We pulled into a zone. We showed that about a week ago, and you can see we broke above the ME, which is the monthly edge. And as we moved up, we went into the YE, which was also confluent with the monthly accelerator decelerator. It pulled back as expected. And then on any kind of gap down, our line in the sand is going to be that ME level, 351.55. This level has been really good to us just trading off of that to the upside. So every time it comes down and it reclaims, it's been a great trade for several dollars. Let me show you what I mean. Let's zoom in. So if for some reason the candle comes down, I'm not, what I'm noticing is higher lows, okay, and higher highs. So I'm not going to go short here unless, we start to break down this bottom. What I'm looking for is buy the dip in most scenarios. So on a reclaim, as soon as it goes over this ME, okay, I'm looking to take the trade to the upside into these targets again, okay? Again, as soon as we reclaim, looking for that move above, looking for targets 357, 364, 370, 51. And if we start to break out above the YE, look at us come into the ME at around 387. That is my plan on Netflix. And then coming over here, it's a little bit more expensive. So I'm probably looking more at the 9 April and looking for the YE again, which is at 370. Those were $9 by 11. That's a delta 40. Again, if we want to go 25.20 for the delta, okay, you're looking at roughly the 385, which puts us into this ME here. Okay, so I would be targeting this 385. What does that mean? 26 delta, it means every dollar it goes against me, okay, could lose about 26 bucks. That does not include overnight risk or theta. It also means in the direction of the trade, if it's moving in the right direction, I will make roughly about $26 for every dollar move in the underlying equity. Okay, so again, nice moves above here. If we dip down, get back above. Also, equity is definitely a choice here. And again, looking at that 385 strike, which is a delta 26. Okay. All right, let's move over here into T-Mobile. I like this one. Basically double whammy, ME, YE, neutral here. It's very, the risk is $1.08. Most likely with this type of ATR, I'm probably going to increase that to $1.50. Again, these are momentum plays. If for some reason we dip and start to move, if we start to break above these, I want to take the trade into targets 86.65, 90.01. But what about the downside, John? Okay, well, if we want to get aggressive, again, Stops above the YE and the ME, same risk here. Looking to just ride that down below the EMAs. But notice these EMAs, okay, right here on the weekly. I'm focused. These are swing trades. I'll focus on the bigger picture. If these EMAs hold, which is my bottom target here of 79.70, I'm not interested in going short. Okay, if anything, just like the other one I showed you, I'm looking at potentially going long. Even though I want to go long on momentum here, I could start along here, add above here, have more in my position, looking for 86, 90, and so forth. Okay, so again, on these, looking a little bit longer out, most likely the monthlies, let's see how those are priced. Yeah, so I'm looking at my targets. I want to get between the decel and accelerator, so probably somewhere between 87 to 90. Okay, the 90 is a 25 delta. These are 17 April, 90 by 221. I don't know if the spread's going to be like that on open. If it is, I may choose equity, or I can look to, to pay up. Basically, if the spread is between $1 and 2, try to get filled at like $1.30 to $1.50. But I'll talk more into detail if that's what I end up doing. Now, I don't have to go all the way down here to a delta 25. I can also trade, closer to my strikes and collect that delta. So I'd be looking at maybe the 85s, which are a delta 42, and those are again these spreads were on close of Friday were $2 by $4.45. A little ridiculous. So if that's what it's going to look like when we open, most likely I'll be looking to trade equity or to see if these spreads calm down, then I'll look at options. Going over into ZM, I have to look at ZM. It's very powerful during this time, and you know, I like the chart. So from a bullish standpoint, if we could break above 153, looking for 164 or double top, value above there, looking for an extension target into 185. When I look at the options here, I don't want to buy too much time, as I would imagine these are expensive. And so what I'm looking for is actually the weeklies on this. So this is a little bit more riskier trade because we're only dealing with 5 days. Okay, and so what I'd be shooting for is between this 165 and 185. So probably like 170, 175. Those are Delta 28 and Delta 24. These are going for 410 for the 170s, and the 175s are 330 by 370. Not bad. And again, extension target looking for 185. All right, so that's what we have. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you tonight and tomorrow. Have a great day.